In my lengthy response to Salza's article, which was called "John Salza Has No Idea What He Is Talking About," I went through and in writing decimated every page of his article, theologically and otherwise. I proved that there was a lie, a contradiction, or an error on every single page of what he wrote. Salza was refuted on everything, on small things, big things, etc. I proved that he contradicts himself within his article, between his articles, that he changes his position, etc. It's a total thrashing, as any honest person who takes the time to read it can see. And then, as readers of our website know, in 2014 the lawsuit that had been filed against us, the one Salza outrageously and dishonestly described with the phrase, "the Diamond Brothers' crimes," ended in a stunning victory for Most Holy Family Monastery. After discovery, the judge in the case granted our motion for summary judgment, dismissing the entire lawsuit that had been filed against us. Every single claim made against us was dismissed based on a consideration of the facts and the law. It was a total and smashing victory for us. But guess what? There's not a peep about the lawsuit in Salza and Cisco's book, True or False Pope. Isn't that interesting? Now that the lawsuit has ended in complete victory for MHFM, they don't mention it at all. It was prominently mentioned by Salza just a few years ago, but now that it has ended in total victory for us, if you relied on their book, you'd never know it happened. That should tell you a lot. The lawsuit is no longer useful for them in a smear campaign, so they don't say a word about it in their heretical book. Instead, they just focus on other lies. But you can be almost certain that if the lawsuit were still ongoing, they would prominently mention it in the book because then it would still be useful for their smear campaign, even though they would still have no proof that we were guilty of anything. That's how those liars operate because they are not of the truth. And one of the reasons they have chosen to lie about us in the way they have is that we've publicly humiliated both of them. We've annihilated their heretical writings and false teachings in our videos and articles, which has caused them great embarrassment, as any honest person who has viewed our refutations of them knows. Now, with regard to that lawsuit, which we won, it's very important for people to realize that every claim in the case was connected to the plaintiff's assertion that it's fraudulent for us to present ourselves as Benedictines, or as members of the Order of St. Benedict, or as members of the OSB. So the entire lawsuit was based upon and centered around the legitimacy of our claim to be Benedictine monks, or members of the Order of St. Benedict. Well, guess what? Not only did we win the lawsuit, but the final judgment ending the Benedictine case in complete victory for us was issued on March 21st, 2014. March 21st is the Feast of St. Benedict in the traditional Catholic calendar. It's the one day of the year in the traditional Catholic calendar that specifically honors St. Benedict. Obviously, that's not just a coincidence. In fact, probably nothing like it has ever happened in church history, in which a case that is all about whether a group can legitimately present itself as members of the Order of St. Benedict ends in victory for the group that says it's Benedictine on the one day of the year that is St. Benedict's feast day. The chance of a secular court and judge granting the final judgment of a Benedictine fraud lawsuit in victory for the defendants on the feast of St. Benedict is almost zero. The chance of it happening is less than 0.5%. The ending of this case on the Feast of St. Benedict is a clear sign from heaven about the work we're doing for those with eyes to see. St. Benedict was famously promised by God that his order would exist until the end of the world, and that at the end of the world, in the final battle, it would play a special role in preserving the faith. Those who read and view our material know that our theological positions are not based on a sign or a prophecy. They are based firmly on Catholic teaching, the papal magisterium, and the laws of God. That's why they are irrefutable. Our information in that regard speaks for itself. However, in addition to the facts of Catholic teaching, God sometimes gives signs and/or prophecies to confirm the truthfulness or goodness of something. He also gave us the prophecies about the great apostasy in the Bible to warn people about what was to come and what would happen in Rome in the times we are currently living through. The prophecies about St. Benedict's order, which were made long before any of us were born, include that his order will continue to exist to the end of the world, and it will, at the end of the world, in the final battle, render great services to the Holy Church and confirm many in the faith. You can find these promises in books on St. Benedict, and you can read more about how we believe they relate to our monastery and the lawsuit in the article. God promised St. Benedict that his order would exist until the end of the world, and that it would play a special role in the final battle at the end of the world, a battle that is a spiritual one for the true faith in a time of almost universal apostasy. So, Sister Lucia told us that our time is the time of the final battle in the end times. And God promised St. Benedict that during this time, in the final battle, there will be Benedictines who will play a special role for the Church in preserving the faith. Do we believe we are that order? Yes, we do. In fact, it's very interesting that not only did the lawsuit end on the feast of St. Benedict, but the official document ending the case on that day was called the, quote, final judgment. That means that the final judgment of the judge about our Benedictine claim was issued on the feast of St. Benedict. And as people know, our material explains how we are living through the great apostasy in the end times, in the final battle, before the final judgment.
What's happening? What are these men doing? It's very difficult to understand. But friends, why? Why can't the Pope just issue a document that's just full-on Orthodox right out of the gate? Why do I have to put my little Sherlock Holmes hat on to try to discover what the good stuff in the document is, and then manfully try to reinsert that into the tapestry of Orthodox Catholic teaching? Where does this come from? This is an apocalyptic moment.
7 popes, good men, have tried to obey.
Calling evil good and good evil is worse than hypocrisy. It tells us in the apocalypse that we are living through that time now. It's in the secret. She tells us that we are in the last times. When we read the Bible and the prophecies of the Antichrist, we think of something else. We don't think of what's right around us. But according to Lucy, she says, Father, the Most Holy Virgin did not tell me we are in the last times of the world, but she made me understand this for 3 reasons. The first reason is because she told me the devil is in the mood for engaging in a decisive battle against the Virgin. And a decisive battle is the final battle, where one side will be victorious and the other side will suffer defeat. Hence, from now on, we must choose sides. Either we are for God or we are for the devil. There is no third possibility.